Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. It's five after. If some other folks join after this, that would be great, but I want to make sure we make the best use of our time. So if you can't hear me, can't see me, can't see the slides, let me know right now. I will be checking the chat periodically. But today we are moving, this is our fourth session of 9 sessions. So we're moving away from the foundations into actual marketing channels. So from here on out, today we're going to talk about websites and then we're going to move to email and social media. Thank you guys for taking the feedback surveys. That's super helpful. I just wanted to address some of the things that you said before we start our session. So some of you really liked the in-person session. Some of you did not, would rather it be virtual. So we're split. There's no consensus, but we are gonna, for now, move forward with the in-person sessions that are planned in June and September. And then of course, there's always virtual sessions. So even the in-person that we did last month, I did a separate recording of that, and that's available on the link that I always send out. So you're always going to have recordings. You're always going to have these presentations. You're always going to have the worksheets. A few of you didn't know that there were recordings, so I'm going to try and be more explicit about reminding you that there are. You can always go back and rewatch them. If you can't attend, you can watch them. It's on that link that I send out every post session. All of the recordings are on there, all the presentations, all the worksheets. So just know recordings of these are available. They will stay available for all of time. You can share them with other colleagues if you want to share what you've learned. About our challenges or homework. They are optional. They're always optional, but you're going to get out what you put in. So if you're not going to finish doing the challenge or kind of implement what we learned in a session, then you're not going to improve your health department. So it's really up to you. You don't have to do this, but if you're setting aside this time out of your schedule, which is super valuable, our goal is for you to walk away with something practical. So during our short time together, I'm going to teach you the why. And then for as much as we can, we're going to try and implement the why and get it done. But if we don't get it all done, which marketing is a big job, most of the time we're not going to get it all done. It's up to you to finish doing it. So again, challenges are always optional, but I'm encouraging you to do them because once you do get them done, they're going to really improve your marketing and then they're done. So we're going to go over website updates today, right? And yes, it can take a little bit of time and effort to make website updates, but then once it's done, it's done. You never have to revisit it. So just know that about the challenges. And then somebody asked about Canva. We will go deeper into Canva when we talk about email marketing next month, and then for sure social media in person. So know that is coming too, or we'll dive into Canva and Canva templates. Okay, before I move on, is there any additional questions or feedback about the survey or what I just addressed? Not, I will continue to move. I think somebody is not on mute. So if you're not on mute, go ahead and do that. We will get started. Okay, some more admin. These are our remaining sessions for 2026. I sent you guys calendar invites for them and for the open office hours. So what I need you guys to do after this session is look at your calendar, look at all of these dates, make sure you can be there. If you have a conflict for any of them, just go ahead and email me and let me know as soon as you can. We can reschedule. We've already rescheduled one of the sessions based on a lot of people not being able to attend. We can do it again. So I just need you to let me know ahead of time as soon as possible so that we can reschedule it and make sure we're being respectful of the other participants' time. So in May, we're talking about email marketing, then social media, community feedback surveys, reporting, and then we'll have our capstone in September. Okay. Questions, comments about admin before I keep going? And seeing none, I will continue. Okay, today's agenda, what we're going to do is number one, I'm going to talk about website strategy like we normally do. I'm going to go over um, the why, the who, the what, the how.
Check one.
Oh, that's Paul.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Thought I was muted.
I know most people do join muted. It's all good. It happens
Oops. Never mind me.
on Zoom. So yeah, we'll talk about website strategy, why we do the things we do, why we don't do things a certain way. And then I built a website checklist. So websites are huge. Your guys' websites are big. So instead of trying to go through and make the updates ourselves, which some of you, maybe that's not your job or have access to it, we are going to do an audit of your website checklist. So we'll kind of go through the website checklist, why the different things matter, and then we are going to peer review each other's sites. So you won't be auditing your own site, you'll be auditing another health department site so that it's completely objective. You won't be adding your name to the evaluation, so nobody will know who's doing each other's audits by name, but it'll be a really good chance for you to look at another health department's website and for somebody to look at yours. So that is what we are going to do today. Let me back. Okay. So the problem with most health department websites is that you guys are doing amazing, great work, but people either can't find you online or once they do find your website, they can't find what they're looking for, right? So we want to make sure today our goal is to make sure your website is set up to help the people you serve and make sure they're getting the help they need. So a lot of things in general with websites, maybe not even particular to health department websites, but for a lot of websites, the issues people have with using them are these four. So navigation could be confusing, right? We'll talk about navigation. That's the first place people look to on your website to try and figure out where to go and what to look for. That's where their eye is drawn to. So if your navigation is confusing, they don't really understand what you're saying, they can't immediately find what's in their head, what they're looking for, um, they won't be able to use your website. Sometimes there's too much or too little information, text on the page. Both of those things will lose your website visitors. No clear next steps. This is a big one people don't really realize, but psychologically, we always want to give people next steps. We talked about this in the 5-part framework, and a lot of websites just they don't tell people what to do. A lot of times, the next step is in the form of a CTA button. Not always, but most of the time, that's what we're talking about when we're trying to give people next steps. And a lot of websites just don't have them. And so they fail to help the people who they need to. Forms are a big one. We'll talk about it. Either you don't have forms or you have to click into 3 pages to find them, and it's, kind of hidden in between text. Sometimes there's broken forms or, they're just not there. And so people can't take action. And then sometimes there's just outdated information, like your hours aren't updated or even on there. Maybe, programs have changed or it's just not the right information. So people, when they can't get help from your website, they're not going to automatically just stop needing help. They're always going to need the help they're looking for you to provide. They're just going to give up on your website and try and go somewhere else. Or if they can't find the information somewhere else, just give up entirely, which is not what we want people to do. Okay. Any questions, comments, thoughts on this? You guys see any other issues with websites in general that you use or with health department websites? Did I miss anything? Okay, no worries. We can keep going. Okay, so I didn't want to preach to you guys about how to do a website without giving you some actual data and information about the reality of how your community, how people in your community look for help from your health department website. So the first people go to find information is online. That's just the reality of how people find information today. They don't call, they don't drive somewhere, they don't drive to your health department and walk in. They're going to go online first. And so that's why we're starting with a website before we do email or social media. Your website is the most important thing, right? Your email, your social media, they all drive back to your website. And so it has to be working. It has to answer questions. It has to be helpful. So we have to get it right. 80% of people search online first, and 80% of people expect online scheduling. So they expect to be able to go to your website, find your information, find your health department. So that's an online search, and we'll talk about that. When they Google health information for your area, that you should pop up first. You should have online scheduling. That's just a reality. And if you don't have it, 25% will leave. They won't come in, they won't make a call. They want it to be as easy as making a dinner reservation, which we all know we can just bop online and click a link and set up our time and go in, right? That's what people want. The sad thing is if you don't have any of this stuff, most people aren't going to come back to your website. Even if they search for it again or search for more information, right? 88%, they're not coming back. You've lost them forever. And then finally, 63% of people are searching online and looking at information websites online on a mobile device. So it's really important that your site works on a mobile phone and resizes for it. I checked all of your websites, they all do that. For the most part, I could have missed one or two, but as I was looking through all of your websites, all of them were mobile friendly. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. It's not just as simple as resizing. Um, and then, this is all so important because people coming to your website form an opinion about your website in half a second. That used to be about 10 years ago, it was 8 seconds. 5-ish years ago, it was 3 seconds. And now our attention spans are down to half a second. So first impressions are everything. And again, 88% aren't coming back if they don't find what they want in half a second. So pressure's on. Pressure's on. That's why we're doing a website checklist. That's why we're doing the audit. That's why we're going to make our websites the best they can be before we do any other type of marketing. Okay, before we move on, tell me if you have any questions, if there's something that kind of you learned that was new, or if you knew this and you've implemented it, any kind of aha moments or things you don't understand. Now's your time to ask. Okay. So as we move forward with our website checklist that we're going to go through together, I really want you to think about your health department website accomplishing 3 general things. And the website checklist will address these 3 things in order, right? It's simple enough. You have to connect the people in your community with the services you provide, right? Everything else is secondary. Sounding, witty and cute and punchy and having, looking really nice. That's important. But really, your goal is to get people where they need to go when they come to your website. So, number one, right, first of all, we have to help people find what they need quickly, right? When it comes to websites, I always, in general in marketing too, but when it comes to websites, I want you guys to keep this rule in mind. Don't make me think, okay? That is the number one rule for websites. Don't make me think. If you make people pause, remember for half a second, they have to think about, well, what does that mean? Where do I go? Is that the right thing? What are they talking about? I don't understand what they're saying, right? You're making them think. And the goal of the website is to be, your website is to be so smooth, so intuitive, so clear that nobody ever pauses. They don't have to pause and think, right? Um, don't make me work. Don't make me think. It has to be easy. It has to be simple. It has to be clear. That's why we developed the 5-part framework. It's done. We have our talking points. They're clear. People don't have to think, right? And you don't have to think using them now because we've done them. So you're going to use that language on your website, so people don't have to think. Number 2, you want to help them understand what to do next. So if you've done a good job with number 1, right, they found what they need quickly. They're on the website page. They've read through the talking points that you've written, and they get it. They found what they needed, right? They're on board. They see that you can help. Number 2, help them understand what to do next, right? This really builds trust with your website visitors. If they find what they need quickly and a service, or you convince them, like, oh, you need testing or you need vaccines, but you don't tell them how to get it in a clear, organized way, they again they're going to leave because they don't know what to do. Whereas if you tell them, hey, you should schedule an appointment at our health department, we do vaccines for free or low cost vaccines, we have tons of appointments, happy to help you. You're building trust, you're helping them, you're that guide, that authority. And they, instead of leaving and never coming back, they are going to trust you, stay on there, and hopefully take action, which is the third thing. We talked about this. A lot of websites don't tell people how to take action, don't give you a way to take action. And I want you to think about this. This is almost the most important thing about your website. If you think about every other marketing channel, email marketing, social media, there's no way on those channels advertising for people to fill out a form. They can't give you their information. They can't schedule an appointment. They can't, submit a question to ask you. They can't get help. The only place that a form can live is on your website. So there's nowhere else that people can take action but on your website. And if you don't have a way for people to take action on your website, and it's not easy, it's not the way they prefer, which nowadays we talked about is scheduling an appointment with a form, then they're not going to take action anywhere else because they literally can't. They can't schedule an appointment from a social media post or an email. So we have to tell them how to take action, and we have to give them a really easy, comfortable way to take that action. So these are the 3 things we're going to walk through with the website checklist that is next. Okie dokes. Anybody have any thoughts, questions, comments, anything you learned that's new? Anything that you've done on here that you agree with, that's worked for you? Checking the chat just in case. Okay, we'll keep going. All right, so we're going to do a website audit together. I built this website checklist, so we're going to walk through it piece by piece. So I'm going to assign you a health department. Again, if you're just jumped on, you're not going to be doing your own health department. I'm going to assign you a health department. So you'll put that name right here. Don't put your name on it. It'll be anonymous, just as far as the person doing it or the people doing it. And then after our session, you will send me your version of this. So I'll put this link in the chat. go file, make a copy of it, and then put your health department name here and update it up here, website checklist for what health department it is, and then just hang on to it. This in the chat. Okay, there you go. Put it in the chat, open that up, make a copy of it, and then give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go, when you're ready for your health department assignment. Okay. So, you guys are good? Okay, most people are. All right, I know Emma is here and Emily, you're here. Hold on just a second, I want to make sure. Okay, so Montgomery County Health Department, you are going to take Buffalo Trace Health Department and vice versa. So Buffalo Trace, you're going to take Montgomery County Health Department. If you're sitting with a team member, if there are multiple team members and you're doing it together, you can do one document. If you're not sitting together, just do it separately, but take the same health department. Pam and Christina. Let's see. Is Breathitt County here? Kayla, are you here? Yeah. No. All right. Fleming County, are you here? Anyone from Fleming? Christine or Chastity? I think so. Okay. Floyd County, you are going to take Martin County. In Martin County, you're going to take Floyd County. And then Lawrence County, Emily, I know you're here. You're going to take Greenup County. And then vice versa. Greenup County, you're going to take Lawrence County. And then I think we're covered with everyone who's here. Did I miss anyone? If I didn't assign you a health department, put it in the chat. Kendra, you had Montgomery County, Buffalo Trace. Kendra and Sabrina, you have Buffalo Trace Health Department, and then Buffalo Trace Health Department, you have Montgomery County Health Department. Okay. Any other questions before we get started? Everybody clear? Everybody made a copy. Okay, looks like we're good to go. Actually, hold on just one sec. Okay. Okay, so you have your checklist. We're going to walk through each category together. So we're going to kind of do each row together. So don't get ahead of it. And then you guys can just be objective and honest and mark what the site you're assigned to does and doesn't do well. So you can see on here, there's sort of a checklist. So you can check if it's good to go. You can add notes, if you're in here, remember, make sure to make a copy of this. Don't update this original document. Make sure to make a copy and then put your health department name here. Okay, so file, make a copy. If I see updates here, then that hasn't worked. Okay, so you're going to go through and do this. Don't do it yet. I'm going to talk you through this. And then if there are any notes, like maybe it wasn't this first page of search listing results, maybe it was the second page, anything you want to add here that you see that's additional notes, that's kind of off, that's what this section is for. So you can just add bullet points and just add things that you've observed. And then, yeah, after this session is done, you'll just send those to me and I'll share it with the health department that you assessed. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is search engine optimization. It's called SEO. This is what you might call marketing buzzword. It just means getting found in Google search results, getting to the top of Google search results, search engine optimization. So we call it SEO for short. It just determines whether you show up when someone searches for health department near me. So again, we talked about this, 80% of your community is going to search for health information through Google, right? You want to be ideally the first result on when they search for anything kind of related to health in your county or the community, your area that you serve, right? Or if you're not in the first result, at least on the first page, okay? Otherwise, you're invisible. People won't find you, right? They're not going to directly type in your health department URL. They are going to go to search first. So what you're going to do, the fun thing about Google is since you guys are in Kentucky, right? Google is automatically going to know your location. And so if you type in the name of the health department you've been assigned, it is going to limit it to counties in Kentucky, right? It's not going to find ones in Tennessee or West Virginia, right? It knows kind of where you are. And so it's going to search in that area. So you shouldn't really have to, type in your state name. You should be able to just type in your health department name in Google, and it should be number one. What we're looking for is it the first listing on your search results? Is it in the first page of your search results? And then the other thing that we're going to do is you are going to open up this link, which is in the website checker. And this is sort of like an automatic grader for the website. So you just put in the health department website that you've been assigned and you can analyze it. Okay. And it is going to show you, let's do one that's not on here so I can show you guys. Okay, so I'm Googling Pike County Health Department. I'm not in Kentucky, so I do have to put mine in. There it is. I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going to put it in the search engine optimization checker. So it's going to tell you if you're not in the first in search results or on the first page, or even if you are, it's great to have. It's going to tell you what you're doing well. Okay, your title is good. Orange is okay, right? And it'll tell you why. It's too long. And then it'll go down. The red is bad, green is good, orange is okay. So you can go through these and make improvements on the back end, or just if you have a website person, just send this to them. You can do it for every page of your website. And this, making improvements, making sure everything is green on here, is going to make sure you're always first in search results and on the first page. So with that being said, I'm going to give you guys, 5 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes, whatever you need, to go and just do this first part of the website checklist. So you are gonna, for your health department that I've assigned you, you're gonna type into Google, is it the first listing? Is it on the first page? And then you are going to put the website into this SEO checker and then maybe leave a few notes about, you know, the things in red, a couple things in red that can be improved. So go ahead and do that. Let me know if you have questions about it in the chat. Well, for the SEO, the basic SEO grades, is that for the SEO website checker tool? Are you asking? Yeah, just do the SEO grade that they give you. That would be great. And then if you see, you know, a couple of red things on there, maybe like two or three things that are marked red, you can note that in the notes section. Hmm. Pamela, what um what health department did you guys have again? Martin. Give me one sec. It may not recognize it, is all I can think. Um, hmm. It is pulling up for me. Maybe try it in an incognito window. Yeah, it might be security on your computer. That might be what's happening. Um, so yeah, you can just leave that one blank and they can do it when they get the sheet. Okay, we're gonna move on because there's lots to cover. Share my screen. Okay. If you can't see my screen, let me know. Okay, checklist item number two. We're gonna do number two and number three together, and then I'll let you go through them. We talked about this. People only have half a second of attention. So it's no surprise if if a website doesn't load, if it takes longer than 3 seconds, that's like an eternity to somebody who only has half a second attention span, right? So you do not want to delay with your website loading. People don't trust you if your website doesn't load, right? They want to rely on you. Flow pages signal outdated or unreliable organization before anybody even sees the navigation or reads a single word. Okay. So we're just going to do a pretty manual speed check on the website, just to see how long it takes to load. Hopefully 0 seconds. Hopefully everything loads right away. You can click into services pages and see how long it takes them to fully load. And make sure you're not just opening the website and looking at the top of the page, scroll through every page and make sure that all images, all text, all sections, all videos, that they appear promptly in 0 seconds without any lag. Okay, so just note if you see any lag anywhere, otherwise you can just check off the checklist. If you do see lag, if you end up getting your website checklist back and you see a delay, how do you fix it? Usually it's due to huge video files or uncompressed huge, image sizes. That is normally the number one thing for slow sites. And so either don't have them or compress them, delete them off your site, compress them, and then re-upload them so that they load faster. And you or your web team or your vendor can run what's called a Google Page Speed Insights test. And similar to that SEO, checklist, it will flag any issues and tell you how to fix them. So the last two are what to do if you do have a slow site, if you see that on your checklist. But what you guys are going to do for this audit is just these two. It's pretty simple. You're going to come in here and just check one of these, and then you can make any notes that you see. Do it for the home page, and then if you want any other service pages. And then we are also going to check for mobile friendliness. So 63%, about 63 of website traffic comes on a mobile device. So most of your website visitors are on their phones. Again, most of your websites are mobile friendly. So that means they resize for a mobile device. So if I squeeze this guy down, right, it has beautifully readjusted and nothing is missing on a mobile device, right? So that's what we're looking for. But we are also looking for um, not just does it resize, but when it's resized, is the text too tiny now, or is it still legible? Are is the logo resized, but now it's too tiny to read that it's the Martin County Health Department, or are the images resized, but now I can't really tell what they are? Um, is it still easy to find the navigation, or did it disappear, or can I not see it? Um, is the formatting broken? If something is left aligned on a laptop, is it now kind of looks crazy on a mobile device, even though it fits on the screen? Does anything disappear? Sometimes when we resize for mobile, just text disappears or images text disappear. And does the menu still work cleanly? Ideally as a hamburger menu, which is another can be a marketing buzzword, but essentially what it means is when you resize for a mobile device, your navigation becomes what we call a hamburger menu because it looks like a little hamburger, right? We open it and it's still there. And then on a regular size screen, it's a regular navigation. So you're going to look for a hamburger menu, make sure it resizes. You can find everything. So that's what I'm gonna turn it back over to you guys again to do the next two parts of the website checklist. You got 5 minutes to do check for loading speed, which should be easy. And then check that it fits on it resizes for a mobile device. Number one, there's no broken formatting, no text or images disappear, everything's legible. So just check for this. And if you have any notes, go ahead and add it to the notes section in either part. So I will release you to do that now. Okay, guys, we're going to keep going. The next part, we're going to look at the navigation and do an audit of our navigation. So I said it before, it's the first place people look on your website. They find your website in Google, hopefully first search results. They click a link to get on your website, and whether consciously or subconsciously, they look at your navigation to figure out where they can find what they're looking for. Sometimes they scroll down your homepage if they feel like they, have a little more time, but pretty much they're just looking at your navigation. And if they do not find what they're looking for in your navigation in half a second, they're out and they're never coming back. So we're going to make sure your navigation has what it needs to have. These are the four things it must have for your health department. This should look familiar because it is a part of our 5-part framework that we walk through and that we created. As you can see, we're referencing it a lot. It's how people think. It's how people process information. And so that's why we use it over and over again. That's why we're going to use it in our website navigation. So who do you serve, right? And who we are, these two can actually be combined. Like an About Us page is really what you want to be going for. But on your About Us, it's not just about you and your team. It is about that and how you help, but it's also about who do you serve, right? What zip codes? And some of you aren't just one county, some of you are several counties. So who do you serve? What do you do? This is your services, right? And then there has to be a call to action. You have to tell people how they can schedule an appointment. Okay. The big thing I want you guys to look for as well in your checklist is using plain language and not program names. This is, I think, something that's hard because you guys live in it every day. And so you have acronyms that you know really well and that you probably think your community knows pretty well, and maybe some people do. But again, if people have to stop to think, oh, what does WIC stand for again? Or what does HAND stand for again? What is that? Or what does environmental mean? Does that mean inside, outside, both, right? You're making me think. And our goal is don't make me think. So instead of saying something like immunizations, right, we're going to say get vaccines. Instead of saying WIC, we're going to say get help with food or get food help, right? Or instead of hands, we're going to say get help with parenting. People search and understand using everyday plain language. So when you go into the navigation and do the audit, right? Do you have at least these 3 required headings? You can have more if you want, but are at least these in there? Is there a call to action? That tells people how to schedule an appointment, right? Schedule an appointment, get in touch, contact us, whatever it is, but there should be some type of call to action tab in the navigation. And then does it use plain language versus program names or acronyms? So go ahead and do that. I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to do that one so that we can get on to the next one. But go do that part of the checklist and then leave any notes that you have. Okay, guys, we're going to talk about the next part of the checklist, which is page layout. So, whether we like it or not, 50% of our website visitors, half of them at least, will judge you on your website design, and they will form an opinion of you and whether they can trust you or not, and whether they want to use your services based on your website design. So we're visual creatures. People can be on a website page for almost a minute, right? And so every part of your website layout has to move people through that framework so that they get the help that they need. Um, if people don't like the way your website looks, um, they will not recommend you, right? They will judge you. They will form an opinion of you. Probably, if it's a negative opinion, obviously they're not going to recommend you to people they know. So, what's great is that I have a cheat sheet for how to lay out a website page. You can use this layout to on every single page of your website, and it'll work. It's science. It's from a website design textbook, and so it's what I recommend to everyone. It's a cheat sheet. So I'm moving over to Canva to show you how it looks. If you can't see Canva right now, let me know so I can make sure everyone sees it. Okay, so let's say this is your health department website, right? And I'm designing a home page or just a service page, and this is what it looks like. Here's your logo up here. Here's, your one-liner that we worked on, and here's a call to action button so people can click and go right down to the form if they want to. So that's your header. The format that we're going to discuss that I want you guys to use, that's proven, is called a Z design layout. It's what it is. It's what it sounds like. You are going to design things in big Z's, okay? You're going to design your sections in big Z's. So the start of the Z is your text, right? Your header, your text, your call to action. And then the other side of this Z is an image. Now we're going to go to the next section, and the Z comes down to the left. And now inside the text here, we see an image, right? It's the opposite. Image, image, text, text. It's cat a corner from each other. Then what do? Yeah, maybe there's an image in the middle here, but we're going to Z again. We're just going to keep creating another Z, right? We come down to the big text right here, and then over, we're going to have some bullet points, some formatting, maybe another image, and then a call to action. And you can keep doing this for all of the information that you have on your page. You can sandwich it all in between sections that are centered, right? So there's this section of testimonials that we put in here that's centered between the Z's, and then this title box is centered, right? And then the Z parts are in the middle. And then we always end with a form on the page. So that is your cheat sheet for how to lay out a page that will keep people scrolling and reading on it and be helpful to people, no matter what the website page is. Every section of your website page should be no more, at least 2 to 3 sentences, no more than 2 to 3 sentences. Okay, so again, people will leave if they don't get enough information, and they'll leave your website if there's way too much text on the page. Okay, and so 2 to 3 sentences is the perfect happy medium for people to get what they want. You can schedule an appointment, or you can send them to a services page, right, where they can read more about that. Just think about, again, if we resize this website page for mobile, right, and this text becomes maybe 3 times its normal size so that it's legible, that is going to take a couple of scrolls on a phone. And remember, people have second attention spans. They're not going to scroll more than twice, right? Especially per section. So we want to keep this, each section, no more than 2 to 3 sentences, right? Short and sweet, tell people what they need to know, but not too much information that it is overwhelming. we want to use professional original photos if we can. I love how some of you have like team photos on your website. You even have photos of the front of your of your health department, which is great. It immediately signals to people, hey, this is real. It's a real building in my community. Even if it's not the most beautiful photo, like a stock photo, it's real, it's original. People identify with it. They will trust you when they see real photos. Um, Stock photos do the opposite. People automatically can tell they're not original, they're not authentic, and it just degrades that sense of trust that they have in you. So you want to avoid using stock photos if you can. If you don't, like Martin County Health Department, they did a great job. They have a picture of their health department. Awesome. It's a real thing and it's a real place. If you don't have photos, right? You don't have real nice photos. There are tons. You can go to like Adobe Stock and buy just a one-time, pretty cheap purchase of a set of graphics. And there's nothing wrong with using graphics like this one as the images on your website. So that's a great alternative. And then finally, every section should end with a CTA button. Remember what we're trying to do overall with our website, help people get to the information they want, tell them how to take action. CTA buttons are how we tell people to take actions. We're going to include one on every page. I know it seems crazy. It seems like too many CTA buttons. I've been there. It's not, because each section you're trying to convince people, help people take information. If you convince somebody in this first section, wow, I really want to schedule an appointment, right? And they don't need to scroll down, but there's no call to action here, what are they going to do? They're just going to leave, right? Or they're going to be confused, or they're going to pause, right? And same goes for the other sections. If they're convinced, if they scroll down and they read this section, they say, oh, yes, that answers my question. I'm in. You've got to give them a way to take action every time. Now, you can vary what the CTAs say. This one says about us. This one see our services. They don't have to be the same, go to the same place, or say the same thing. But you should have one in every section. Okay, so that's the next part of the website checklist. Take 5 minutes to look at the page layout. Start with the home page. If you get done with the home page, move on to another page. If we have time, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Let me know if it follows a Z design layout. Is it a balanced amount of text? Is it 2 to 3 sentences? Is it less than that, more than that? Is it stock photos, no stock photos, graphics? And is there CTA at the end of every section? So if there's not, or they're doing some things right, some things not right, whatever you see, you can leave that in the notes section for them. So go ahead and do that, and I'll bring you back in 5 minutes. Okay, guys, we're moving on to our last item in our website checklist, which is forms. So remember what we're trying to accomplish, the big things we're trying to accomplish with our website, which is help people get to where they need to go immediately. Number two, tell them how to take action. And then three, give them a way to take action. So forms are one of the most important things that you can have on your website. Scheduling a appointment, right? 67% of your patients prefer online booking. Um, they want to do it after office hours, right? When calling isn't an option. Um, they are more likely to choose a provider, your health department, um, who does offer the ability to book or change or cancel appointments online. And the insightful thing is that it's not just, you know, the young folks, Gen Z. These stats are for baby boomers, millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, right? Across the board, everyone, including our older generation, wants this. And they're not going to get to you unless they have this. So it's really a have to have. So without forms, right, you're relying entirely on phone calls or walk-ins. You can't track interest or measure demand. So, if somebody with forms, you can capture intent, right? Even at the wee hours of the morning. If you have a ton of people filling out a form on your vaccines page, you know that it's really working. You can keep sending people there and you can do the same implement the same kind of strategy on your other pages. Um, and then people, if you don't have forms, if people don't call or walk in, they're not gonna reach you. And you can't tell what your community needs. So with forms, all the opposite is true. The great thing about it is that forms, you can automate a lot of it instead of spending a lot of time on the phone, scheduling appointments, follow ups, right? It's all emails go out confirming appointments, reminders go out confirming appointments automatically. You get automatic notifications that alert your team that you have appointments, right? You can track submissions um, automatically, what age, what gender people are, when they're coming, popular times of day to schedule appointments, to come in for appointments. And you can really see what's working and increase the amount of people who use your services. So I would really, really encourage you guys to add a schedule an appointment form to the bottom of every single page on your website. And I would customize it, bonus points, if you can customize it to each service area. So maybe you have just a general schedule an appointment form on your homepage, a contact us page, and then on each of your service area pages, it could be the same form fields to schedule an appointment, but just on the back end, you want to label it um, for that service. And maybe there are different things each service needs, questions that need to be answered. But you do want a form on every page. You want, no matter what page you're sending people to, what page of your website they're on, they should be able to take action by scheduling an appointment. These are just some form and scheduling tools that are designed for you guys. They're designed for healthcare, handle HIPAA compliance. They can be embedded directly into your existing website. Most of them are low cost. So again, also, you guys will get these slides. You can look into these if you don't have any. Um, if you guys are already using a form and a appointment scheduling tool, please put that in the chat. I'll add it to this presentation or email me so we can share it with other team members and they can use it as well. Okay, before we do the checklist, I'm going to give you some bonus items too, and then I'll let you go finish the audit. These are things that are not have to haves, they're nice to haves, but they are just so great for keeping people on your website. And again, accomplishing our goals of getting them the information they need quickly and showing them how to take action. So, number one is an FAQ section, ideally on every page. If you have one just on your homepage or contact us page, about us page, it's great. And maybe it's the same set of FAQs you put on every page on the footer, but the frequently asked questions are just what they sound like. A lot of the times, this is the place people go to just get short, quick answers. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Um, I mean, a lot of these, right? How do I book an appointment? What services do you offer? You already have that information. It's already on your website. You're just repeating it in short form. Um, so you're just going to take literally the questions you get asked the most that you're tired of answering, that you have to repeat all the time, right? And putting them in an FAQ section. That is going to help people find what they need fast. And then second of all, live chat. Live chat, a lot of people use to, instead of looking through a website, they automatically go to a live chat and say, how do I find this? Instead of looking around for themselves, which, you know, again, we're trying to help people get the information they need fast. So this is a great way to help them do that. And literally, you can automate a lot of the answers that people ask or questions people ask in the live chat are going to be answered in your FAQs. So you can set up automatic answers to common questions that are the same as your FAQs. Again, you're not reinventing the wheel. And then if those automated answers can't answer the question, then it will automatically notify you to respond, which doesn't happen as often as you think. Most people get their questions answered with the automated bot. So these are kind of two bonus things that you can add to your website that really help people stay on it and take action on your website. So I'm going to release you for the last 5 minutes to finish the website checklist for your health department. So you're going to do forms and then bonus website elements. So is there a form on every page of the website? Are forms customized to that page's information or service area? You can just list, I see a form on this page, that page, if it's on every page, make some notes here where you see or don't see forms. And then these should be pretty easy. Do you see any FAQ sections or do they have website chat? You can check these off. So I will bring you back in about 5 minutes and we'll close out our session. Okay, guys, we are finishing up session 4. So, your challenge, which is not required, um, is to send me the peer assessment you did of the website. I'll compile them, send them out, and just look at your audit, look at that checklist, the things that we went through. And I would encourage you to make those updates to your website. You don't have to. I'm not going to ask for homework. I'm not going to force you to do it. But it will help improve your health department's marketing and your website and reach more of the people you serve. And the best part about your website is once you make updates, they're done, right? You don't have to, for the most part, continually make them like you're continually doing social media posts or continually doing email. Pretty much once you make these updates and your site is good to go, you don't have to do it again. So just know that. You can also schedule it out. We created a production calendar, a marketing calendar. Just add it to your marketing calendar that you're going to do one thing on the website checklist every month or every week, right? You don't have to do it in an overwhelming, amount of time. You don't have to do it all at once. You can schedule out fixes. Um, I'm happy if you want to set aside time to make some of the changes, if you want to walk through, if you have questions once you get your audit, like, I don't know what this means, I don't know what I should do, how to implement it. That's what open office hours are for, right? You can come on April 23rd or May 7th. They're both Thursdays, it's during the lunch hour. Not required, but I will be here to help. I will be here to answer questions or to talk about anything we learned or to help you implement it. So a reminder that those are available for you. Also, you can just schedule one-on-one coaching with me. It's part of this digital marketing school. You get a personal coaching session. So if you want to make sure no one else is there and all the attention is on you, just reach out and we'll schedule a time. The next time we'll meet, we're going to talk about email marketing. That's on May 21st. It's virtual, social media, surveys and reporting, and then our capstone. Again, please look at those dates. I'll send it out in the follow-up email and let me know as soon as you can. If you can't come to any of them, if there's enough people, we'll work on rescheduling it. We just want to make sure everyone can attend these live and in person for the most part. So thank you guys so much for being here today. Again, send me those peer reviews that you did. Just share the Google Doc with me or send the link to me in an email so that I can send it out to that health department. But otherwise, you guys are good to go.